Welcome, everyone. During our meditation time together, we're going to practice cultivating self-compassion for ourselves. Much of this exercise is being used from the book Compassionate Presence by Rolf Nolasco and R. MacDonald. As we're entering our time together, I invite you to find a comfortable position, whether that is sitting or lying down, whatever's comfortable for you. This self-compassion exercise is an invitation for us to cultivate a greater experience of kindness and compassion towards ourselves in those areas of pain and suffering, failure and insecurity. This exercise, when practiced over time, alongside other tools, also helps calm the self-critical voice in us, as well as amplifying the kinder, loving, and more true and more deep voice within us. The voice that is connected to God and rooted in His compassion for us. And now, as we enter our time together, if you're comfortable and haven't already done so, I invite you to place your hands in your lap, palms facing up, as a way to expectantly receive any gifts that may come to you during this time. And if you're comfortable and haven't already done so, I also invite you to gently close your eyes. And now become aware of the natural rhythm of your breath. Notice the air moving in and out. And become aware of the sensation of your chest rising and falling. And just linger here for a bit. Now taking a few deep breaths, continuing to notice the air moving in and out, continuing to be aware of the sensation of your chest rising and falling. And just linger here for a bit. If you find yourself getting lost in your thoughts, or your mind is wandering, or there's some overwhelming emotions coming up, that's okay, and there's no shame. Just gently bring your attention back to your breath, or the sound of my voice, or the music. And now taking a few more deep breaths, continuing to notice the air moving in and out, and your chest rising and falling. Now, in your imagination, as best as you can, picture a crowd that Jesus saw and had compassion on. As best as you can, notice any sights, sounds, maybe smells or colors or textures. And notice Jesus' face towards the crowd. Notice his eyes, his warmth, his compassion, and his tenderness for the crowd. Linger here for a bit. And now notice yourself in the crowd. Notice Jesus walking over towards you, extending the same tenderness, warmth, and compassion towards you. And become aware of his nearness and his assurance that he is there with you. Just linger here for a bit. And if you find yourself getting lost in your thoughts, or your mind is wandering, or some overwhelming emotions are coming up, that's okay. There's no shame. Just bring your attention back to your breath, or the sound of my voice, or the music. Once again, in your imagination, picture Jesus taking you by the hand, leading you away from the crowd, and leading you to a stream where he sits with you. And he places a few jars in front of you where he invites you to place the hurting places within you and to place them one by one in the jars. Those pieces of insecurity, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of self-doubt, feeling of being unloved, feeling of being unwanted, uncared for. And as best as you can, linger here until you've been able to place each of those hurting places within those jars. And now, as best as you can, picture Jesus receiving those jars compassionately with warmth, and his tender face smiling at you. As you surrender these jars in these hurting places to Jesus. Notice if you feel more calm, lighter, and loved unconditionally. Linger here for just a bit. And in this space, once again, notice yourself looking at Jesus, looking into his eyes and at his face, and experiencing his tenderness and warmth and unconditional love for you. And as you do so, hear yourself say these words to Jesus, as well as yourself. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. Linger here for a bit and allow these words to soak in. I'm going to read these words a second time. And as I do, if you're comfortable, I invite you to place your hand over your heart, continuing to allow these words to soak in. And as best as you can, lean into these words and notice if there's any shifts in you. Continuing to look intently at Jesus, who's holding you in warmth, tenderness, and love. You say to him, thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. Linger here for a little longer. During this time, have you noticed anything that's been shifting for you? Any sensations? Do you feel deeply loved, cared for, accepted, intimately known, and intimately close to your source of love? If not, that's okay. There's no judgment or shame. Continue to focus on the loving face of Christ. Or bring your attention back to your breath, the sound of my voice, or the music. And now, with a gentle smile, repeat the following words to yourself and say them as a prayer to God. May I feel the love of Christ for me. May this love heal those hurting places and make me whole. May I know in my heart that I am God's beloved, that I am deeply loved just as I am. Linger here for a bit. I'm going to repeat these words 2 more times. And as I do, if you're comfortable, I invite you to place your hand on your heart. And as I read these words 2 more times, you're invited to pray them again silently. And as you do, notice how this feels in your heart. Do you notice any change in how you feel or think about yourself? Are you beginning to see yourself the way God sees you? If so, bathe yourself in this love, His tenderness and His warmth as I read these words 2 more times. May I feel the love of Christ for me. May this love heal those hurting places in me and make me whole. May I know in my heart and mind that I am God's beloved, that I am deeply loved just as I am. May I feel the love of Christ for me. May this love heal those hurting places in me and make me whole. And may I know in my heart and mind that I am God's beloved, that I am deeply loved just as I am. Linger here for a little bit. And now in the last few minutes, gently bring your attention back to the natural rhythm of your breathing. Become aware of your chest rising and falling, and the air moving in and out. This air that is a gift to you and life to you from God who unconditionally loves you as you are. Linger here for a bit. And now take in a few deep breaths, continuing to notice your chest rising and falling, continuing to be aware of the sensation of your breath moving in and out. And linger here for a little bit. And as we end our time together, when you're ready, and if your eyes have been closed, you can gently open them, re-entering your world, knowing a little bit more that you're unconditionally loved, experiencing more kindness and compassion for yourself. And may each of us know and experience God's accompaniment and His companionship now and always.